Hello, my juicy peaches, and welcome back to my channel. It's your priestess Peaches here, supporting you to live your juiciest life and co-create a heavenly world. And in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you why speaking your authentic truth within your relationship is the key to unlocking empowered love. So have you ever found yourself holding back your truth from your partner because you are afraid of upsetting him, you are scared to rock the boat, or you're afraid of being too much? Have you found yourself people pleasing with him and putting his needs and his desires and his feelings before your own? Have you been afraid to share your truth with your partner because you're scared of rejection or afraid of being misunderstood by him? So if this sounds familiar or if this resonates, then please continue watching this video, because I'm going to be sharing with you how you can begin to express your truth in your relationship in a way that's going to feel very empowered and that is going to give you the best chance possible to have the best outcome possible, and also for you to feel like you have done your part in your relationship and being authentic. It always feels so much better if you're not suppressing your needs or desires, if you're not holding on to secrets, and if you're standing firm in your boundaries and your standards, and you are expressed within your relationship with your partner. I want to share with you how you can shift the energy dynamic between you so that you can come into this space of empowered love. A lot of women feel like they are carrying the weight of their relationship. They are pulling the relationship along. They are doing the heavy lifting in their relationship, and they are taking on so much masculine energy in the relationship. Many women that I speak to are scared to speak up for what it is they need and what it is they want, and their truth, and they're scared to share that with their partner. They've come into this dynamic where he is actually in his wounded feminine. So I've worked with women who are afraid to share their truth with their partner because he doesn't particularly know how to create a safe space for her to share. Sometimes his wounds are triggered. He can be reactive or just not emotionally available or even unkind. And not stepping into his empowered masculine, and so it puts her off from ever sharing again because she's scared of how he's going to respond, and she is afraid that she's not going to be met in her needs, in her desires, in her truth. He's not going to see her or understand her or even hear her, and it can lead to arguments or disconnect, and in many cases it can lead to a shutdown, and it can lead to disagreements, arguments, tension. It can lead to disconnect. It can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration from both people in the relationship. But the thing is, when you're not expressing yourself honestly and truthfully and authentically with your partner, a dynamic starts to happen where he can start feeling entitlement. He can start feeling apathetic. He can start feeling this wounded feminine of entitlement. He can actually go into his wounded feminine where he is flaky, he is wishy-washy, he is distant, he is apathetic, he is dismissive, avoidant, and also entitled. And he becomes very used to you carrying the weight of the relationship and never sharing how you really feel, and almost letting everything be on his terms in a very wounded way. And I know that you desperately want to be able to share how you really feel. You desperately want to have that connection and intimacy with him. You want to be able to have these conversations that go well. You want him to be able to hear you. You want him to be able to see you and respond well to you and honor you and step up as a man and be there for you and support you. You want his masculine energy, his empowered masculine energy, to be activated. But every time you try, you get the opposite of that. And so you retract and you stop sharing yourself. And what can happen is a woman can feel like she needs to keep the peace, that she can't have any conflict with him, that she can't upset him or rock the boat. And she feels like she has to be the one to keep the peace. And so she becomes like she's treading on eggshells the whole time. And actually, this is really disempowering him. And it's actually really emasculating him when a woman isn't being authentic and saying what it is she wants and sharing herself in her feminine energy. It can cause either the wounded masculine in him, but it's more likely causing the wounded feminine in him. The other thing that can happen is that a woman can go into her wounded energies and start dictating or dictating to him, telling him what he should be doing, or demanding things of him. So the dictating is the wounded masculine telling him what he has to do. She wants him to be able to create a safe space for her to share. And so either she can wait for that to never happen, or she can go into dictating and demanding it of him when he is unable to do that for her at this point. The other thing that can happen is that when a woman does speak up, she goes into over-explaining. Oh, sorry, there's lots of, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's lots of, I don't know, seeds and things floating around here. The other thing that can happen is when a woman does express herself and she finally gets the courage to do that, she expresses herself in a very masculine way. And it will surprise you what is masculine energy when you are sharing something with your partner. If you're sharing a need or a desire or a boundary, the masculine and wounded masculine version of that looks like over-explaining, trying to justify yourself and trying to give lots of details so to try to make him understand. This is all forward-moving energy, and the more in the forward-moving energy you are, the less he'll be able to hear you. What needs to happen to activate his masculine energy, his forward-moving and supportive energy, is for you to lean back in your feminine feeling space, but I'll get into that in a minute. Not sharing yourself authentically and not using the empowered feminine communication skills will lead to resentment, will lead to disconnect and distance between you and your partner. And you'll find that the energy dynamic between you, he will start taking on more of the wounded feminine, and you're going to be taking up space in the masculine energy more and more, which is really depleting and draining. And then this can push you further into your wounded feminine, where you disconnect from him and you shut down as well. And there's just more and more distance being created, more and more resentments bubbling under the surface. And you're expecting him to know, you're expecting him to get it, and he won't. The more that you start doing things for him, the more that you are in the masculine energy, carrying the weight of the relationship and not speaking up, the more he will let you do that, because he will be thinking you want to do that. Or he will just assume, as a man, he's not going to be doing things he doesn't really want to do. And so he will just assume that you're okay with how things are. And he'll be wondering why on earth now and then you blow your lid, blow your top and go crazy, or why you are giving him the silent treatment and trying to use these manipulation tactics. They don't work. Do not use manipulation tactics with your man. What I'm speaking about is not about manipulation. It is about consideration and authenticity. It is about intimacy, and it is about creating the dynamic that is most healthy and empowered within your relationship. So how can you shift this dynamic? What is it you need to do? I teach the Empowered Feminine Communication Formula. It's a 10-step formula. You can access that full formula in my online course called Inspire the Empowered Masculine. I honestly believe that all women need to take this course. It is amazing. I'm actually going to be retaking my own course soon, because there's stuff coming up in my relationship that is tricky right now, and I need to remind myself of these teachings. These aren't just my teachings. These are teachings. These are feminine energy secrets that have been taught to me through the top relationship coaches in the world, the feminine energy coaches, tantra coaches, all this wisdom about the masculine and feminine dynamic and masculine and feminine psychology, and how you can utilize this information as well as your pleasure power to come into your empowered feminine self and be the most empowered you can be within your relationship, so that you can create empowered dynamics between you. So if you want more information on this, then in the description box I will leave the links to my website, and you can purchase Inspire the Empowered Masculine from there. There's 4 modules in that course. It's a self-study course, it's a home course, there's no live calls or anything, there's no interaction with me unless you want to opt for the one-to-one version, so that you can get some bespoke support if there's really tricky things in your relationship or long-standing patterns. Then I do recommend having one-to-one support alongside that course. And all my one-to-one options start at a 3-month devotion, because I find that these things require at least 3 months of deep support around the issues that are coming up, so that you can really shift the dynamics permanently, so that you can really understand and implement and embody the information within the course. So if that's something you're interested in, again, I will leave the links in the description box below. So the first thing is to learn how to communicate in the empowered feminine way. And like I said, I've got a 10-step formula, and I'll share with you a little bit about it now. So part of expressing yourself in the empowered feminine is coming from your feeling space. So you're not pointing the finger, you're not saying you've made me feel like this, you did this to me, you. No, that is not the best way to do it. So you want to keep everything within your feeling space. I feel. So you come from I feel. And when you come into your feeling space, you want to describe a simple emotion. And sometimes it takes some time to get to these simple emotions, because there's emotions on top of emotions, and you want to get to the root emotion and express that. Often it's sadness, to be honest. When you're angry and infuriated, underneath all that, you might feel betrayed, you might feel all these other emotions, but when you get to the core, it's normally sadness or quite a simple emotion. You want to express that. And there's certain ways you can do this that are going to really inspire his masculine energy to come towards you and want to fix it, want to support, want to provide, want to protect, okay? So you need to express from the feeling space. Another way to do that is to express how it feels in your body. So coming into your body, how are you feeling in your body? I feel contracted. I feel my heart is shutting down and closing. I feel heartache. I feel nervous. I feel anxious about this. My stomach is churning. Or it could be a positive thing. It could be my heart is expanding. I feel full of love right now. Whatever the emotion and the feeling space is, you want to express from that space. Really, I should have said this piece first, but I wanted to share how you can do this. But it's really important that you do express yourself. Even if it comes out badly, even if it comes out disempowered, it's really important that you at least express yourself. But the best way is to learn how to do this in an empowered way. But yeah, the first one I should have said is speak, say it, bring it up. And even if it feels uncomfortable, speak your truth authentically. And it really helps to journal it all out first. Get really specific about what it is you are feeling, why it is you're feeling that, what it is you want the outcome to be. But when you go into expressing it, you want to let go of any agenda or goal. You don't want to be trying to make him do anything, be anything, say anything. You don't want to be trying to make him do anything. You want to just be expressing from your feeling space your truth without agenda, without goal. And you do this by expressing from the feeling space, taking your energy off him and leaning back, energetically leaning back and validating yourself. You want to validate your feelings. Don't be looking to him for validation. Don't be looking to him for him to be doing anything. You want to keep your energy on you, in your body, in your feelings, and in self-validation. Your feelings are valid no matter what. Even if you think they're irrational, even if he's told you in the past you're being irrational, even if they are irrational, they are still valid. Don't dismiss yourself. Don't avoid yourself. Don't suppress yourself. Don't ignore yourself, and don't invalidate yourself. Validate your feelings. You want to hold your standards and your boundaries on the inside. So I always say, be like the peach. So you've got this strong inner core, the stone of the peach, and then you've got this soft, inviting outside of the peach. And then there's the succulent, juicy middle of the peach, right? Which he gets to experience, okay? So you want to be soft and inviting on the outside with a strong inner core. And when you come from this space, you're not a prickly pineapple, okay? Or a prickly cactus. You don't want to have your walls up and your spikes out, because that is just going to push him away. He's going to avoid that, or he's going to react negatively to that. You want to have your standards, boundaries, requirements, tolerations, all on the inside. You don't need to always be expressing those. In some situations, of course, you can express your boundaries, but you want to wear them on the inside, validate them on the inside, stand firm in them, activate your inner supportive, empowered masculine of conviction, standing firm, unwavering, the solid core of the peach. And then you want to let him have his response, let him have his reaction. He might react negatively out of habit. He might be in a space of entitlement. He might have his own wounds and triggers and things that come up for him. Let him react. I'm not talking about tolerate abuse. This isn't for abusive men. If you're in an abusive relationship, I'm really sorry, but this video isn't for you, because this doesn't work in abusive situations. This is for loving men, long-term committed relationships that have wounded and some toxic dynamics playing out. Those can shift. Abuse is a whole different ball game, and I really recommend that you speak to a professional and that you seek support and that you get out of any abusive situation. But we're all human, we all have triggers, we can all be wounded, we can all be immature. Sometimes this happens for your partner. So they may react negatively. Let him. Just observe. There's no goal, there's no agenda. You're not trying to make him understand. You're not trying to make him see. You're not trying to justify yourself. You're not trying to explain. You're not giving details. You're sharing your feeling space. You're dropping the mic. You're leaning back, and you're letting him do what he needs to do to process that information. And you can just repeat the same thing again. If he's like, well, why this? Or, well, what about me? Repeat the same thing again, lean back. If he is being really reactive, you can say, I don't feel safe right now. Let's come back to this. Let's cool off and come back to this. And always gift the situation time. Gift yourself time. Gift him space. Men need space. Women need time. So gift yourself time by gifting him space. Let the dust settle. Let things take longer. I know it is so hard, especially if you are more inclined to be anxious attachment, if you're a little bit neurotic like me. You can want to fix everything right there and then. You need to have the conversation right there and then. No. Slow everything down. This is one of the most juiciest, most amazing pieces of information that I ever embodied in my relationship, is just let things take time. Not everything needs to be sorted within that one conversation. Just let it take time. Don't let his reaction change you. You are unwavering. You are standing firm. You are like the lighthouse. I often speak about the lighthouse. This was taught to me and it has changed my life. It's changed how I show up in my business. It's changed how I communicate with Rory. It's changed how I feel within myself. Being the lighthouse, the body of the lighthouse, the structure, that is your confidence, conviction, unwavering, standing firm energy. And then the light of your lighthouse is your feeling space, your authentic self-expression, your feminine energy shining brightly. So you want to just stand firm. You don't need to start growing arms and legs and running around trying to get him to do something or be something, or trying to make something happen, trying to push and force him with a goal or an agenda. You can just lean back in your feminine energy, know that you are valid, and then just observe. Let the dust settle, come back to it, see where he's at. And you can ask him, what do you think? What do you think will bring him into his masculine thinking space. How to fix it, how to provide, how to deliver, how to protect, he will think of the solutions when you say, okay, so what do you think? What's your thoughts? And then listen to what he says. Listen to what he thinks. And then you don't have to be reactive to that. In fact, I would recommend not being reactive to that. Instead, take your time and go and process again. And then you can come back and respond from there. So everything gets slowed down. This is the best way to communicate within your relationship because it allows both of you to come into your empowered space. And that can sometimes take a bit of time and a bit of a process. And if he's not used to you being empowered, he might still be wounded for a while. But that doesn't mean he won't shift, because the more you shift, the more he will shift, because it is an energy thing. It's not about personality types. It's not about attachment styles. It is about masculine and feminine energy. When you shift, he will shift. And if he doesn't shift, then you get to ask yourself some questions about that down the line. But it's more than likely he will start to shift when you shift. You have to stay unattached to the outcome. You have to let go of controlling and micromanaging him and trying to get a certain response or result. You can't change how he reacts, but you can shift how you respond, okay? You can't change how he reacts, but you can shift how you respond. And the thing is, men really love your feeling space and really love women's emotions. They're very attracted to emotions. And on a subconscious level, sometimes they react to get a reaction because they're wanting to experience your emotion. So if you can stay grounded in your emotion and share from your feeling space in an empowered way, you're shifting the dynamic from this negative response, this like reactive, immature, reactive emotions, to positive, empowered emotions. And that is going to do something to him. His empowered masculine will feel compelled to step forth when you're in your empowered feminine. So ask for what you need, share your desires with him, express how you feel, but do it from the feminine energy, not the masculine and not the wounded feminine. You don't want to be trying to manipulate him from your wounded feminine, because that's all from fear and self-doubt. You want to be in self-validation and conviction and standing firm. So you've got your inner supportive masculine and your empowered feminine, and that inspires his empowered masculine. And over time, that energy dynamic will get stronger and stronger, and you will witness him in his empowered masculine more and more. You just need to give him time, give him space to process and come into that energy. It's not always instant. And you need to take your energy off him if you are gifting the situation time and space, and you need to then take your energy off him. And it can be tricky sometimes, but you need to focus on you, focus on your pleasure, put yourself first, fill up your cup, go and hang out with your friends, go and get a massage, go for a walk in nature, focus on your business, your work, indulge in self-pleasure, self-care, self-love, self-maintenance, all these kind of things, whilst you're in that in-between phase, whilst the energy dynamic is becoming empowered. Focus on you. Take your energy off him, peel it off him, put it onto you. Keep it on you. And that is magnetic. That is magnetic. Especially if you can come into your pleasure power. That is so magnetic. When you are alive, when you're standing firm, when you're confident, when you have conviction, when you are self-validating, when you are juicy, and when you're soft and inviting, and you want to transmute everything through your soft heart space, okay? And so that you're not a prickly pineapple, you're not a prickly cactus, you're a soft, inviting, juicy peach with a firm inner core. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. Let me know where you are on your journey. I would love to hear from you. Plus, you can ask me things and I can create new videos for whatever it is you've asked me. And do feel free to check out the description box for links to my website and programs and courses. And give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed listening to me today. If you want to join this community, then feel free to subscribe. So I'm going to go now. I am wishing you an amazing day. And as always, remember to keep it juicy. Bye. I know that's so cringe, by the way.